If you are subscribed to my channel, you're probably wondering why it's taken so dang long for me to upload a single video. The answer is, just like the description on my YouTube channel says, real life issues can sometimes get in the way, and oh boy did they get in the way again. If you look way back on my channel, there's pretty much a video where I say that I ended up getting mild RSI in my hands, which stands for repetitive strain injury. Pretty much, when you do too much intricate stuff, such as drawing and writing, and go overboard with your hands, and don't do enough exercises, and also don't take enough stuff that would loosen it up, such as a fish oil drink I take, then it can kind of, well, seize up a little, start hurting, and also potentially get worse if you push it. So I proceeded to go cold turkey and not make any video content or really game much at all for a good while. But the good news is that it's all over now. The other reason why there hasn't been much content on my channel at all is because it just so happened that I had a bunch of video ideas, but they needed a character from a certain TV series to be voiced by an AI. I went and set up an account for said AI and said website. The AI sounded like when he was speaking, the character's voice coming through the AI anyway, when I inputted the text, it sounded like the equivalent of someone talking through a fan while using a crappy voice modulator. It was not good. It wasn't up to my standard of content, so that stuff is being put on hold until I can able to find enough clips from the actual show and just mash it all together and make that work. The reason why I'm not revealing what the show is because I want that to be a surprise. Now, on to this actual video. What's the video going to be about? Because I don't want to sit around here talking about all that kind of stuff forever. This video is meant to be about just basically a whole bunch of odd and funny and downright stupid fishing locations that I have found in Guild Wars 2. So, for a quick primer, if you didn't know what I mean by fishing and stuff, or don't know what Guild Wars 2 is, Guild Wars 2 is a massively multiplayer online game, MMO, and I like it a lot. One of my favorites. In fact, the one I play lately, pretty much. And in one of their expansions, End of Dragons, they released fishing. So pretty much World of Warcraft had it for ages, now you can finally do it in Guild Wars 2. So the premise of fishing is really, really quite darn simple. You can earn yourself a fishing boat. Link on the top right side of the screen in case you play the game and you want to earn yourself a fishing boat. I have a guide to that, just putting it right there. But the main premise of it is you have a boat as such, you can drive it around, you can dock the boat, and then you can press a key. On my key, in my case, it's J to pull out your fishing rod, and then you will get the fishing rod, and you can aim it by pressing 1 on your keyboard, pressing 1 again, and then when you cast it into somewhere where you can potentially fish, such as the shore fish here, the single bob, and then you use the A and D keys on your keyboard to basically keep this thing within keep that little green thing over the little green bar that goes back and forth, and then once if you pull it off correctly, you have caught a fish. Congratulations. So now that you know the basics of fishing, this guide is going to cover a whole heap of stupid/funny locations I have found that you can fish in. So let's get started right away and open my inventory, because in it is the Season 3 Portal Tome. I'm going to use this to immediately get to one of the locations, which is actually first on the list. I have a list on another tab, a Word document. Yes, I don't have a script. I've been writing a Word document, which is just a list for this entire damn video. It's a really kind of just all over the place list, but I mean, that's how I roll. Got no real script for this. So, once I've teleported to Bitterfrost Frontier, in fact, I'm going to skip past this loading screen most likely, if it doesn't take too long. I'm going to get exactly to the location. Or maybe, nah, I'll show you the way to get to the location, because it shouldn't be too long to get there, and plus you want to know where these ridiculous fishing spots are. So anyway, well, there you go. Apparently, I don't even need to skip the loading screen, because I took so long saying all that the game loaded. Thanks, game. And I don't mean that in a sarcastic way. So, pretty much this video is going to cover places that don't have any fishing spots like this, such as this place with the boreal fish, because in my opinion, if a place already has a fishing spot, and that means it has an achievement tied to it, and then everyone should basically know where that is, and it's not really going to be that interesting or anything. So, the place we're going right now is to the very east side of the map, and we're going to really just boost over there with a roller beetle, because over there is the first ridiculous fishing spot. Excuse me for a moment, because I seem to have gone the wrong way. Apparently that's not actually how you get in there. I tried going in through here. Apparently that's not what you do. You actually go in through here. I should have followed the path, but I mean, look at that. When you look at the map, you're like, that's like totally the right way to go. Of course it's the way in. No, apparently it's not. Also, if you paid close attention to the minimap there, I think I was boosting so fast on my roller beetle that I actually skipped over some water. Yes, you can do that in this game, and it's wonderful. So, pretty much, for story reasons I don't want to go into because I could be possibly spoiling this, you need to go over to this hot spring over here, and basically make something or rather. And as you can see, the hot spring actually burns you if you get too close. It is that dang hot. See, like, I'm just gonna move this aside again. See? Overheated. It is really warm here. And I think if you help in the actual hot spring, I think it starts getting even worse. Okay, maybe no, it doesn't. But the other thing I find kind of funny here is that because I'm playing a Guardian, I have passive healing, so I can apparently out-heal the damage I'm being inflicted. So yeah, I can apparently stay here forever, which is lovely. On my Ranger, I actually did die, but I guess if you're a Guardian, it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, I also forgot. You can't actually, like, when you're in this like, kind of weapons out mode, you can't actually get out your fishing rod. So give me a sec while I walk over here and get out the fishing rod beforehand, because when you're not in combat, then you can pull out the fishing rod. Oh, and ignore the mushroom. He's just hangry or something. I don't know. He wants to kill me, but we're just going to ignore him for now. Okay, never mind. He's trying to knock me over. Small cut and intermission while I murder the shit out of this mushroom. I'll be right back.
And then they come over and break my fucking legs. Who is it? Oh no!
Hey, come here, son of a bitch!
No! It was you! No! It was only a prank!
And we're back. Mushroom successfully murdered. I spawned a giant magical sword on top of it and cut it to pieces if you're wondering how I did that. So, here's the actual fishing location that I was talking about. You notice you can fish in the all the water here, the real hot water, but you can also fish in this tiny little pool here, which I find downright ridiculous. Yeah, special thanks to two friends of mine, Theo and Trix. So if you're watching this, you were the ones who inspired me to make the video in the first place, and also actually gone to this place and figured out this fishing hole you can even fish from. So thanks to both of you. The video wouldn't actually be out with either of you. Now, when it comes to the fishing hole, okay, that's real interesting. Apparently just got a random fish and got more some of my Shiver Peaks fishing collection done. Shiver Peaks fishing collection, by the way, is just anything you'd find in like the Shiver Peak Mountains, which is pretty much all the snowy maps, pretty much all of them. But you know what I was actually expecting to get here is the first time I was fishing here with both of them, like both the friends I mentioned, we were all fishing up this this ice lobster, which I found utterly hilarious because it was like, oh hey, here you are, here's a boiled ice lobster for your trouble. Like, I mean, look how hot this thing looks, and look how it's actually damaging me. You'd expect there to be an actual like boiled lobster or lobster meat when you fish it out of here, but no, apparently it was just a regular old ice lobster that we were getting, which actually gets you crustacean meat. But apparently, at the time of making this video, as you can tell, the loot table has been changed, and now we get regular fish. But I've stuck around here for long enough, it feels like, because it seems like we're only getting one kind of fish. I just say that now I got an ice fish. Okay, that is pretty hilarious. In a boiling pool of water, I got an ice fish. So, yeah, nice steamy, hot cooked ice fish. I don't even know how that would taste. But enough of that. It's time to now move on to the next location, because as you've seen me already fish in one location, I don't need to stand around there for ages because you've seen like it's possible to fish there. Okay, so looking at the document I have up for a short moment. The next location we're going is Lion's Arch. I'll get back to you once I'm actually there doing the thing. Right, so for our second location, I've just gone to Lion's Arch, like I said, skipped the loading screen, and now I've basically ended up near the Trader's Forum and just gone out the front gate over here. And now we're going to basically go over here to the Blood Fields. By the way, the map we're in is the Gendarren Fields, one of my most favorite maps in the game, because I love it how there's snow around here if you go to the east end of the map, and then as well as snow, you've got all these lovely grassy fields with all these farmers and stuff, and pirates attacking it, which you can then proceed to ignore the farmers' cries and like help, and proceed to just sit back, relax, and watch the pirates wreck everything. Which as level 80, as someone who has most of their characters at level 80, I have done that quite a few times, and it is very amusing in my opinion, because normally you just like the game's like, oh, save the people, help the people, be the good person, and here I am just like, I want to watch the pirates burn stuff. So, the main reason why we're going over to this particular part here is because of this tiny little pool here. So here we have this kind of disgusting pool of water, guarded by centaurs even, in the centaur lands, which you would expect, like, you're not really going to get anything from this, are you? The answer is yes, you actually can get stuff from it. As soon as you get rid of the centaurs, you can pull out your dandy old little fishing rod, and then get a fishing in this, like, kind of brownish, mucky pool of water. And the reason why I'm putting this on the list is, like, you got an entire river and everything with actual, like, fishing locations to fish from. But no, you chose the tiny little murky pool of water that probably have fighting fish in it. Oh yeah, fun fact. I actually, in the past, actually used to own a pet fighting fish. And the thing about fighting fish that's really unique about them and kind of odd is that they will actually freak out when in a large body of water. They need a really small body of water because I think they originated in Japan or somewhere. Don't quote me for exactly where they originated from, but where they basically came from, they basically breed in tiny little puddles of brown, dirty water, kind of like this, except even smaller. They basically breed in potholes, and the males have really vibrant colors because they attract the females. And if you have two fighting fish in the same puddle, they will fight to the death for the female's affection. It is honestly kind of quirky and weird, and I like to just... I was gonna call it fighting fish lore, but I mean, this isn't really lore because it's real life stuff. Anyway, enough about all that. You've seen this little murky puddle of water. On to the next fishing location. So for the next location, here we are in the Fireheart rise, starting off near the Sati waypoint. And you might be thinking, oh, the first thing Cheese here is obviously going to do is going to say, oh, why don't you go fishing in the tar-covered lake here? That is actually a good idea, and I'm not really sure why I haven't added it to my list of odd fishing spots, because I mean, realistically, you're going to probably find something very icky in a tar-covered lake. In fact, I'm going to just test it right after I go to the original fishing spot here. But no, the actual fishing spot we're going to go to is a little more over here. It is got to do with this bit of water though, and that is why I am using a skimmer to get there pretty fast. Okay. Dang it. So my original idea when I went here, my original idea was, hey, I'm gonna try, this is again thanks to Theo and Trix, they were actually the ones who went and kind of brought me here and were like, hey, why don't we just try to do something goofy, why don't we try and fish in the lava, which unfortunately fishing in the lava doesn't work, but you can of course walk right over and just fish like, at the spot right next to the lava, which again, this kind of applies the same logic as the Bjora marshes thing. Not Bjora marshes, it applies the same logic as the Bitterfrost frontier, where any fish you fish up from here should just be a hard-boiled mess, like just totally cooked and dead. You should not even be getting a live fish or anything like that from here. But apparently, ArenaNet updated the game recently and somewhat screwed with this thing a little because well, this is kind of weird that I got an Ascalonian fish from fishing it right up there in the lava. But yeah, as you can see here, there's actually a volcanic fishing spot where you can get volcanic fish. So places like Draconis Mons, they actually you can actually get fish from them that are like fire and volcano themed, and they actually count towards fishing collections. So I guess that location, I was like, oh, look how quirky it is. You're fishing near the fire and the lava. No, apparently in Guild Wars 2 lore, whatever you have it, because it's in game, you can actually find fish that survive and thrive in lava. So kind of moot point there for me. I'm now feeling a little silly, but I mean, hey, I probably should have been the one doing research and actually going to these locations beforehand with this funny little, well, not really guide, I guess, just this video thing. But, okay, I was about to say, let's fish in the awful tar lake and see what we get, but honestly, this is even funnier to me. Just going over here with my skimmer, and then just seeing this fishing spot just saying, lake fish. It reminds me of like that one meme where there's that guy kind of looking at the camera going, are you sure about that? That kind of thing. It's like, are you sure that's lake fish? Are we sure that's not just horrible concentrated tar and yuck? Oh look, oh, apparently we even got noxious water fish in here as well. So apparently this is an actual location you can fish in. But still, I find it just funny how it's like, on this end, the tar is as prevalent as in the middle of the lake. Why do we have noxious fish in the middle and lake fish on the side? Who knows? Don't ask questions, it's a video game, that kind of thing. Anyway, that location is good and done. So the next thing I'm going to cover, please excuse me while I complete an entire jumping puzzle, because there is said jumping puzzle right next to the lava where we just were. It's actually a jumping puzzle called Vexa's Lab, and spoiler alert, we're going to go into Vexa's Lab and begin fishing in a certain location in there. You'll see what I mean soon enough. But yeah, I'll put a cut in once I'm done with the jumping puzzle, because if I am to fail a whole heap, you don't need to see any of that. That's boring. Okay, so even though we aren't at the fishing spot yet, we're actually in the middle of Vexa's Lab here, I decided to actually start recording because I was just like, hang on a minute, what if you, the viewer, want to actually see how to get into all these ridiculous fishing locations and actually follow my lead? And I was like, well, that's kind of stupid of me to then just say, oh, it's boring, I'm going to skip the jumping puzzle. I'm going to now show you how to get into actual Vexa's Lab properly. So, I'm going to include, basically, while I'm fighting these enemies here, I'm going to include, basically, footage on the screen right now of me actually entering Vexa's, lab's jumping puzzle thing, and how to get in and where to actually find the entrance, and the small little bit of jumping puzzle stuff you have to do beforehand, because honestly, when it comes to these, like, random dragon minions here that Vexa is just researching, it's really self-explanatory for this part. You just defeat the dragon minions, and you have to defeat a certain amount of them for Vexa's security gate to open, because, I suppose security protocols or something like that. So yeah, pretty much, I'll be showing all the footage that's needed so you can see how to jump into the small portal that leads you here to where you fight the dragon minions, and then I'll skip to the end of beating these dragon minions, because this is pretty much combat that it'll be very hard for you to lose. Okay, so here we are with the test subject beaten. Right when I beat all of them, this thing opened here, and a veteran undead abomination was unleashed on me. It's like an unstunnable enemy. I was expecting that to happen, because why wouldn't it be? It's basic game design. But another thing I wanted to cover that I didn't end up recording is just kind of how the door opened here was kind of funny. I thought the door would swing open like any normal door. Nope, this one explodes. It shatters to a million pieces right when you beat the test subject. So, okay, Vexa apparently an Azura who got style. So, for this part here, this is like a very, very unique part of the jumping puzzle, where you have to kind of figure out which one of these portals to take, because each of the portals will drop you into a different location, and then present you with a whole bunch of extra portals to use. And as you can see, there's like stairs built upside down and stuff here, so I got a feeling that Vexa herself was a very, very talented and also eccentric inventor. Also, I was apparently planning in this vid to kind of bumble around and then show you the doors to go through, the correct ones to get here, but I think you just witnessed some of the best muscle memory I've ever had, because while I was talking to all of you, like, viewing this, I kind of just, I ran through this without thinking, and yeah, here we are. I chose the correct path first try, so, I mean, isn't that like 1 in a million chance for video recording? Sure makes this whole thing go smoother. And over there, I guess we got some random old branded in whatchamacallit, in a cell or something. So this is the next part with another kind of jumping puzzle section. These stairs here, they will be used to get you back up here should you fall off. Now this part here, how it works is that you see all these golem assistants, you can't kill them, they're invincible. And they also will push you off these platforms should they touch you. So, my advice here is don't wait around for the game to spawn the middle platforms here. Start jumping. Just keep jumping. Try and avoid the golems as much as you can. I was internally panicking there, and yeah, internally screaming as well, because, oh, what an opening. Ah, this is nice. The golems are kind of just avoiding me, so apparently, yeah, if you get lucky and stuff, get you right over here. And, oh, damn it. I thought I could avoid these guys. So yeah, apparently there's just, Etherblade here? I mean, I had no idea that they're here. Etherblade, by the way, they're a type of, they're basically pirates. They're sky pirates, so they have airships and stuff. I have no idea why they're in here in Vexa's lab. I mean, they could potentially be acting as mercenaries. Maybe you should hide them. I don't really know. It doesn't matter either, because I was trying to avoid the Etherblade, but as you've seen, they saw me, and then they were like, kill. And I proceeded to go, no, it is you who die. Oh! Yeah. And then apparently, yeah, Vexa also has this, golem here that is meant to kill you. So, what I'm trying to do right here is, avoid the sharks, because she was smart enough, like a classic supervillain, to fill up this entire damn tank with sharks. If this golem resets enough, I'm starting to think, oh, wait, hang on a minute. I just realized something. Why are we killing the golem? Yeah, that's actually a really stupid thing to do. Because, I mean, yes, there's sharks in the water here, but I know if I kill the golem, whose health apparently just does not reset either, so that's lovely. A lot of enemies do. The entire idea of going here was, let's go fishing in the shark tank. Because why not? It seems like a silly idea. But yeah, when I've beaten this thing before, when I've beaten the golem, a chest will spawn, you get your reward, and you count as completing the jumping puzzle. But if you just wanted to be silly here, and fish the fishies, like I'm doing right now, not killing the golem is actually a great idea, because the lab will start self-destructing once you kill the golem, and then once it does, you will be forced out of the lab. It won't actually, kill you, like, it'll just force you out of the lab though, but I mean, that's not good because that means that we can't fish here. So here we are, after that cut, Vexa is beaten, I have my chest, I have my reward, and oh boy was it actually worth it because I got on myself one of these, an armored scale. They're worth about 20 silver, but I'm not selling it since I'm actually crafting a legendary, I need that. But enough about that, I got my reward, yada yada, you don't really care about that probably. We're going to move on to the next fishing locations, and the two of them we're going to cover are fractals. So that's the reason why I'm here, in the Mistlock Observatory. It's a premium kind of cash-up item, lets you teleport to an area with all these crafting stations. You've probably seen a YouTube video go there before. But yeah, we're going to go into fractals, and the first one we're going to go to is the Siren's Reef. Now, normally, with fractals, they're kind of considered a little bit like endgame content if you don't know what they are. They're kind of like a dungeon in like World of Warcraft or another game, or even dungeons in Guild Wars 2. But these ones, generally, fractals, are in a way kind of like quicker content than dungeons. It also comes with this thing called agony resistance, so it's kind of pulsating damage, and you have to stack this stuff on you called or agony resistance. So kind of like this item you apply to armor, and it makes it so that the pulses won't damage you that much, and you won't die horribly from the stuff. But we're not going to worry about any of that stuff, because in order to go fishing in all these places, you don't even need a party with you. You can go in solo, because for this place, Siren's Reef, you see all the stuff like the veterans, smog scales and stuff like that. Basically, these two are telling us, hey, we need to clear the beasties off the beach. We are not even going to interact with any said beasties. We are going to go over near the water here, stand in this rock, and go fishing. Oh yeah, by the way, you see how there's a shark in the water? Kinda ominous, isn't it? Makes you think you shouldn't jump in the water. Funny enough, the shark might eat you, but I've never really gotten that far. Because the moment you hit the water, you get this... Oh, okay, apparently it's not even a shark. There's piranhas in the water. I thought it was some kind of debuff, like, oh, the island is cursed or something. No, there's apparently just piranhas eating you alive as soon as you hit the water. But anyway, yeah, enough about that. We're going fishing. We're going fishing here. I think also I've tried to hop in the water or get my boat out, and I don't really think it worked. Wait, no, I've never really tried to get my boat out next to this rock, so I'll do that right after I've gone fishing here to kind of show you we can fish up. So unfortunately, the stuff you're going to get from here isn't any kind of a fish. It's just continuous tangled weeds, and not the kind you smoke either, not the kind of slightly fun kind, I guess. It's just a regular old bit of seaweed. Not to be confused with the actual seaweed item you can get in the game, which actually is used for crafting and actually sells for more than a measly 2 copper on the trading post. In fact, the description here literally says these tangled weeds are a sure sign there's not much to catch. It's kind of telling you, hey dumbass, stop fishing in the fract. Well, you're gonna find nothing. But yeah, that's exactly what I am, a dumbass, and I'll keep doing it. Ah, what a shame. I try, as you can see, try to put the boat down. The game's like, you can't use that item right now. I'm like, why not? Let me go around in the boat. Let me mess around. Let me be safe from the piranhas. Let them not eat me. And then I can kind of go around for the rest of the fractal. But yeah, that's pretty much the Siren's Reef fractal covered. I'm going to put a quick cut and first get back to Dessa's lab. And then we're going to go out of it. Wait. I think this is the Mistlock Sanctuary. Oh, no, it isn't. But yeah. We're going to go back to the Mistlock Sanctuary. I'll put a small cut in and get back to you once we've loaded up the next fractal. So here we are in the next fractal, the Aquatic Ruins fractal. Now the first thing I found really interesting when I went here is I was like, oh hey, there's fishes here, like fishermen and fisherwomen, and if you talk to them, he actually says like, I don't know where you came from, but I need your help. The crate took our people into the water. You have to stop me. He's actually looking pretty upset here. It's a pretty funny kind of like upset looking face. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay. So if there's people already fishing here and like there's barrels of fish and stuff, does that mean it's possible to actually catch some good stuff here? Maybe not just tangled weed, because I was already excited when I seen like the green little bulb indicator and was like, oh, we're probably gonna catch some good shit here. Nice good shit. Like apparently, unfortunately, no. You're just gonna get tangled weed, as you're soon gonna see. It doesn't really give you anything here, which again is trying to tell you like, hey, dumbass, stop fishing in the fractal. But I mean, for the Siren's Reef, I could kind of understand. The game is like, okay, maybe don't go fish here. It's like a super dangerous island. But I mean, come on. Here, there's actually people who are fishing besides me. I mean, at least they called fishermen, that kind of stuff. But yeah, pretty much covers this one. Aquatic Ruins fractal. It's time to move on to the next place, which I can actually go to real quickly by using this one thing right here, Invitation to Lily of the Elon. Okay, so here we are after the small cut back in the Lily of the Elon retreat thing. Now, the actual fishing location is, of course, as I picked out, in one of the most dumbest spots, inside their fountain, pretty much. So yeah, pretty much you're like you're rich little shit, pretty much, and you've picked here to fish because why bother fishing in the actual Elonian waters where all the fish actually are all around this place when you can annoy the bouncer and the other people in the Lily of the Elon by scooping up like the goldfish or koi or whatever they have in their fountain. Yeah, unfortunately you don't get anything really unique here, just from a lot of other places. I mean, there I got a tangled net, but you can find the junk items like tangled net anywhere. Normally you just get regular fish here. Oh, also, fun fact, you can actually go for a dip inside the pool below the fountain. I was thinking originally, hey, I'm gonna go in here and again be a little shit and like just kill all their tuna and their and other things such as like this thunder shrimp, but apparently no, you actually can't do that because they're listed as friendly. The game doesn't want you to do that. It would be really funny if you could just see people like diving in here to kill the fish and everything though. And just give me a moment to check my Word documents. Yeah, that actually covers it. That's pretty much all the funny fishing locations I found in game where you can basically, there's just really odd, stupid places you can go fishing. But stick around if you want, though. Like, I'm totally fine if you choose to leave now because we've covered all the fishing locations. But the second part of the video is going to be covering all the locations I tried that didn't work because I just find some of the locations I tried kind of funny. So again, putting another cut in here while we get over to the first location, Divinity's Reach, and luckily this place lets us teleport there, so I'll go right there and I'll be back when the loading screen is finished. Okay, so here we are, we've loaded into Divinity's Reach like I said, and the first location we're immediately going to go is taking this waypoint over here to the Salma district, which is actually your character's home instance, because if you play a human, this is where it's implied they live, even though it doesn't make too much sense if you chose a nobility background, because this area looks kind of not run down, but also not like a place where the nobility would live. Anyway, what I'm now going to do is get on my Springer, because if we were to go into the actual home instance, it'd be more full with NPCs, and also it would have to have a loading screen. But we can pretty much see the exact same amount of stuff around here and everything. Yeah. So we're just going over here to go and find. Yeah, this is what we're looking for. I think I know. I think you know what I'm thinking at this point. Yep, fish in the well. Unfortunately, this didn't work, but I just thought of the idea of doing this hilarious. Like, you put your fishing bobber in there, and then your character fishes up out of all things a bucket. Just like you fished up the world's bucket. Good job. Now none of the other people in Divinity's Reach can ever get water until they replace it with a new bucket, which you proceed to then fish up again and become some kind of bucket goblin and like a legendary among the kids of Divinity's Reach, and like they're fighting with swords and everything and claiming like, I'm the bucket goblin, no, I'm the bucket goblin, and then there's your character just sitting in his or her house in Divinity Reef being like, my buckets, they are mine now, no one else can touch them. I will keep my collection and you can't do a single thing about it. Yeah, so the reason why I've started just kind of rambling on there is because next place I'm gonna go is the fountain. I don't think I actually listed this on my list of things, but yeah, I also try to fish here. No dice. You unfortunately cannot fish in the fountain. So those were the two places pretty much in Divinity's Reach where I tried fishing. Neither of them worked. So instead, we're going to, so I'm not instead, but we might as well now move on to some more fishing locations which I tried, which unfortunately did not work, but they're still kind of funny. Okay, so after going to Divinity's Reach and showing you those two locations, the next place we're going to go is pretty much Bjora Marshes. So Bjora Marshes could be counted as kind of a late endgame map, but I'm going to keep the spoilers pretty much minimum here and just say it's an icy place and it's spooky too, because reasons, story reasons, and that's all you need to know. So what we're looking for here is a bunch of Coden, so bear people, trying to fish for the ice. In fact, this is absolutely perfect. As you can see, this is an event here. So, funny enough, before fishing was actually introduced to the game, so like fun fact, you could, if you completed this event enough times, you would get a fishing rod skin for your staff, and that's actually still in the game. And you know what that means, right? Yes, you can in fact make a daredevil character, which is a specialization for the thief. Proceed to get a ascent or a legendary staff, and then proceed to beat the shit out of people while it has a fishing rod skin, so it looks like you're killing like Elder Dragon minions and all this really high level stuff with a damn fishing rod, which I find hilarious. Unfortunately though, as you can see, nope, you cannot fish in the actual fishing hole with your fishing rod, which is why I wanted to include it in the locations you can't fish in this guide, because frankly, that's ridiculous in a whole nother way. Like, what presents Bearman, Ice Fisher Coden guy over here from casting his rod into the water and fishing out a nice, plump, juicy Arctic tuna like this? But yeah, moving on to the next fishing spot that didn't work. Okay, so here we are, after covering that Coden fishing hole stuff. This is the next place I've gone to. So, you might originally think I'm kind of mad if you're going to Istan, because, I mean, you can see all this water around here, and plenty of places to fish, all kinds of stuff. But the place I immediately thought of is, hey, let's go to the, Astralium, which is pretty much a place all about astrology, where there's a whole heap of smart scholars and stuff, and, of course, lily pads. And lovely pools here. So, as you can see, I try to go fishing here thinking, what can we fish out of, like, the sanctioned little lily pad pool, which you really probably shouldn't be fishing in? The answer is nothing, unfortunately. In fact, I might as well lump in a few other places. I was like, why don't we go over to this lovely waterfall here, and this higher bit of the waterfall, and also these waterfalls? They all didn't work either. So, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, you can't fish there either. And that pretty much covers that for this Istan location. Well, location on Istan. That's the map we're on. Time to move on to the next one. Here we are at the Wayfarer foothills, because this is where the next spot is. So this next spot, actually, I was kind of surprised because I was really expecting you to fish up some kind of junk item from this place. I mean, I wasn't expecting you to get anything good, but the water here looked deep enough for you to actually be able to go fishing here. I was expecting it to be something rather like, no one's a lost trinket, and it says, like, this, like, small little pebble would have been great value to its owner as maybe a symbol of luck or something, but to you it's useless, and it's just, like, worth 2 copper. That's the kind of description I expected for the place we're going to go to. What is the place we're going to go to, by the way? Well, it's the hot springs. The hot springs right over here. The Shadowhorns hot springs. So, I wasn't actually the one who thought of this. If you remember before, in the start of the video, I was basically saying, 2 friends of mine, Theo and Trix, were helping me out with some of the locations and actually giving the idea of this guide. Well, this is thanks to another friend of mine, Arrow. So, you may see him soon enough in one of my guides or videos. We're planning to collaborate soon enough. I'm not sure exactly when he'll appear, but just give it time, and I'm sure he'll be in some kind of video. Anyway, thanks to him, because he was the one who suggested, go and fish in the hot springs. So, I went there. I tried to fish in the hot springs, and it didn't work. As for the other locations here, there is like of course, as you can see, a lake over here, and then another one over here. But in both of these locations, they were actual, like, fishing spots. They were actual, like, pools of fish. And whenever I have a place where there's basically a pool of fish, I'm like, that's not going to cut it for this kind of funny fishing video, because that means the place has actually got achievements tied to it, like I mentioned before, and it doesn't really count. So, on to the next place now that I've covered the hot spring. So here we are in the verdant brink, and the reason why I've gone here is because, originally, when I was going here, I was like, hey, what if we attempted to fish in this tiny little pool over here where the mussels are? But I'm pretty sure, yeah, it didn't work. So then I was like, okay, well, before I leave the verdant brink, since I'm already here, you know what I remember is up on the north corner of the map? Yeah, that's right, a raid entrance. So I was like, what if I try and fish in a raid? Because, I mean, that just sounds insane. Like, going into a raid instance. I was like, what if there's a pool of water that I can fish right at the start of the raid instance to satisfy my fishing needs without actually having to go in there? So the first thing you're going to notice when you go up to a raid instance is it's all locked, and then it says basically that, well, you must be in a raiding squad to enter. But I thought, at one point when I was playing Guild Wars 2, I thought, hey, you know what? I want to start commanding stuff. I want to start commanding small metas. I want to start, like, helping out with a Casino Blitz meta and run it a few times. And maybe the Augury Rock one, a really easy one. Maybe a few others. I want to maybe eventually learn how to be a World vs. World commander. So, of course, because of that, I went, and at some point in the game, I spent a whopping 300 gold to get a commander tag. So now I can create a squad, and here I am with my commander tag on me. Then, once you have a squad, you can click raid mode. This simple little button here actually treats you as a raiding party. So now, when you go into this, let me just go away for a moment, and then go back into it. It's not registering right now. Yeah, suddenly all this stuff is actually accessible. So here we are going into the Spirit Vale as a raiding party of one person. And trust when I say, if you attempt any of this, any of the actual stuff in the raid, as one person, you will die so quickly and horribly. So my idea here was, hey, let's get into the raid, and let's check it out to see if there's any water nearby. As you can see, no, not really any water. I was like, well, what if there's water maybe at the end? Is any of this stuff water? And then I immediately dropped the idea, because this guide may already be a little bit bonkers, but I'm not insane enough to suggest that someone, or that one of your friends or something, gets a commander tag, and then you start raiding in the game, and then you get good enough at raiding to actually beat these raids purely so you can get to the end, so you can whip out your fishing rod, dunk it in the water, and go, hey, look at me, I caught a raid fish. That seems a little far-fetched, even for me. Like, I'm not gonna suggest you go and do that. So as you can see there, that was the Spirit Vale raid. No, that was completely, I messed up the wording. That was the Spirit Vale raid. I got the V and the R mixed up there. So next we're gonna go to the Stronghold of the Faithful, and yeah, this is kind of like two failed fishing spots in one, because all I pretty much went and done was I going in here, looked, went, okay, there's no water nearby. We're gonna dip, because this, frankly, like I said before, not worth it to go and raid an entire place, or do raids, just to get a good place to fish. So as you can see, here they actually, this white mantle cultist over there will actually drop the gate, or the portcullis, whatever you call this, to prevent you from getting in, and you're meant to fight your way in. But I was like, okay, well, you see, thank you for dropping the gate. That just makes me a whole lot safer, because I wouldn't be able to fight you at all. It was one person. I'm gonna go fishing in the water, thank you very much. And then I found out, oh, you can't actually go fishing in the water. And then I was like, what happens if you proceeded to jump off here, though, and then, oh, with, you know, invisible walls. So, yeah, unfortunately, no fishing, period. So, yeah, that was both of the raids being bust. And now I'm going to exit back to Verdant Brink and take my commander tag off in case people start thinking that I'm actually about to command the meta here or something. Or actually about to do raids, which I don't want people to get the wrong idea. And that pretty much covers it for both of those raids. We can move on to the next spot, which is going to be right after I lose my Lily of the Elon pass again to get to Alonia, because, yeah, two of the failed things there are in Alonia. So I'll see you after a short loading screen. So here we are in the Elonian Riverlands. I teleported to the Orshilar's Oasis camp waypoint right here. Because mainly I went to the Lilly Elon Pass thing because it's over there and it gives me cheaper waypoint fees to get here. Anyway, you might be thinking, oh, isn't that a little bit boring? You're just going to go down and like fish in the water down here. No, that actually wasn't the plan. Because when I went here originally, my idea was, let's try the stupidest place I can think of. I'm gonna fish in the quicksand. Because yes, indeed, this place has quicksand. I have died here many times because I was overzealous with my roller beetle. I was like, oh yeah, I got so much speed, there's no way I can like just die horribly in the quicksand because my boost is like so strong right now. I'm gonna go all the way through it, and then I proceeded to die horribly in the quicksand because I was overzealous. Just like the ancestor says in Darkest Dungeon, remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. And in this case, it was like overconfidence is a lightning fast and deadly killer. Because yeah, quicksand. And as you can see here, can't fish in it. In fact, let me give you a small demonstration. Yeah, the moment you get in the quicksand, you're immediately slowed by a heap, and you can't walk very fast at all. As you can see there, even after a short while being in it, I almost died, and I'm at L80 character. So I might be playing a Guardian right now with a glass cannon build, but I mean, my health was still at, as you can see, 14,000. So yeah. And now, after we covered the quicksand, which you obviously can't fish in, my next stupid decision, or in this case, brilliant, because this entire guide is focused on being as stupid as possible with your decisions on where to fish. It's, I'm gonna try and fish in the Desolation. I'm gonna try and put my fishing rod into the literal piles of sulfur there, which I'm pretty sure in real life is actually corrosive and smells like horrible, horrible bad eggs. I actually went on holiday one part where, like, they had, I think, some sulfur fields or something, and the funny thing is, you go there, and first you smell the bad egg smell, but then, after, like, a short while, you actually start getting really used to it, and it starts, like, you start smelling it. Your nose gets too used to it. It was a really unique experience. Because I was sitting there thinking, oh no, am I just going to be smelling this thing all day, like this bad egg smell? And it turns out, no, you're not. Because your nose will get used to it. So when it comes to the sulfur fields, you can actually use a skimmer. Because that will prevent you from dying horribly in the sulfur. Oh, no, 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 no.
Dead!
Figures. I say it will prevent you from dying horribly and I don't press the mount button properly, causing me to die horribly in the sulfur. If that wasn't foreshadowing, I don't know what was. So yeah, while in the sulfur fields, you will have this debuff on you, which is sulfurous haze. It says it has no effect on skimmers, but anything else will be killed horribly by it. But skimmers will actually go faster on it as if they were on the on water or something. So as you can see here, this is kind of the perfect location. Nothing's really attacking me, and I was like, let's try and dip my fishing rod or lure whatever in the sulfur. But no, it doesn't work. And that pretty much covers it for, I'm pretty sure, the Elonian locations, because I couldn't think of any other, like, dumb places to dip the fishing rod in. I mean, in Vabi you could find Balthazar's Forge, which has pots of boiling molten metal, I'm pretty sure. But if you really couldn't stick the fishing rod in lava, I don't think you're going to be able to do it in the molten metal. Okay, so here we are back over at Verdant Brink because I actually ended up missing a location that you can fish before. So this is going to be right at the end of the video. We're going to be switching back to one more location I found out that's really stupid where you can fish, because it also feels like it's the perfect way to close out the video and end it. So, like I was mentioning before... Oh, that wrong button. So like I was mentioning before, we're going to go and we're going to create a squad and we're going to set it to raid mode so that I can then go and actually enter the raid. And we're going to go to the one raid that I actually forgot, the Salvation Pass, because you can actually fish in here. Because as you're soon going to see, the game is going to spawn you in the middle of this cavern and this big cave system. And yes, apparently the water here, even though it's shallow as heck, and normally you'd think like, oh, well, the water's so shallow, wouldn't I not be able to, like, fish here at all? The answer for this is, go ahead. You can do it anyway. It really doesn't matter. Go ahead and fish in this place, which, I just find kind of awesome in general. Unfortunately, all you're going to get is tangled weed from here, and this is your only real place you can actually go fishing, because as if you were to go even a tiny bit up here, they are immediately slublings, which are like raid level enemies, and if you try and fight them like I'm doing now, they will completely overpower you because they are meant for an entire raid squad to kill because they are tanky as heck. The good news here is even though they keep following you, I won't die because I can just click leave instance and immediately get out of the raid. And that pretty much covers it for the end of this guide. I just wanted to mention one last thing, and that is that I loved just the idea and the concept in my head of the last kind of fishing location that I actually cover in my guide is basically telling you, the viewer, hey, it's possible in one of the raids to actually go fishing. All you gotta do is grind up that sweet 300 gold, small little amount there, and then you can actually go fishing in a single raid. There may be also other raids that you can go fishing in. I just haven't tested that. I know there's a couple in Path of Fire maps and that kind of stuff, but frankly I feel like this, not really guide, this just little silly video has gone on for long enough. And honestly, if you decide to spend the 300 on the commander tag just to go fishing in a raid, because you got nothing better to do, why not? Especially if you're just like a billionaire in Guild Wars 2. I don't even think the money can go that high, but like a millionaire when it comes to gold worth, and like gold is nothing to you. Why not buy the commander tag if you don't have it already? If you have it already, why not go in the raid and fish up some sweet tangled weed from the tiny little pool next to the slublings? Anyway, this video I feel like it's going on for enough. I'll see you next time if you decide to watch one of my other videos. If not, I hope you enjoyed this one, because I, in general, as you can probably tell, really enjoyed making it. Anyway, bye for now, and have a nice day / night / some weird evening thing in between, depending on what time zone you are in, and if it's got daylight savings or not. That's it pretty much. Bye for now.